Relli is the stock market of real estate. We are essentially building a platform that operates similarly to how Fidelity or E-Trade will work, where you can manage a portfolio of passive real estate investments from the fingertips that you have on your couch. So Ross and I decided to build a stock market for real estate where anybody can go and see real estate deals across the country and passively invest in any asset class.
Let's say a hotel being built in your community that you can invest in, right? You can really be a part of rebuilding your community, and also you can make some investments and make some gains along the way.
Fractionalization of assets, of real world assets, is the future of commercial real estate globally. For the sheer sake of creating those efficiencies that have been absolutely direly needed in the industry for at least 2 decades. The second that they leverage the available options for non-accredited investors, layering the tokenization piece on top of the securities that are available to the average consumers will be gasoline on the fire. The product is expanding when it comes to different investment opportunities across the country in different asset classes that people can diversify into, with amazing sponsors that have great track record that are actually investing in our business, as well as investing in advertising their deals on our product.
Take a browse, see what investments fit your appetite, and we're excited to continue to build with you as you join the community.
What's going on, family and friends? Today, I'm excited to be interviewing the team at Relli. Relli is the stock market of real estate, connecting real estate sponsors across the country with capital by facilitating transactions with retail, accredited, and institutional U.S. investors. Relli helps real estate sponsors raise money in the cheapest, fastest, and most efficient way possible. So as this world goes digital, opening up new markets and new opportunities, I'm proud to be interviewing the founders of Relli, Moore and Ross. Let's bring them up on the stage. Welcome, Moore. Welcome, Ross. Let's tighten up that screen here. Boom.
What's up, Ray? What's going on, man? Good to see you.
It's so good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me today. How you doing?
It's been a good day, man.
Doing great.
Good. It's a great day. We're on the back end of a busy week, but hey, before we dive in, let me give you guys a much needed introduction, and then we'll dive on into some questions, and then we'll circle back to your areas of expertise towards the end of this conversation to drive home the understanding for the audience members here of who you guys are and why you are exceptional leaders at the helm of Relli. So give me 1 second. Let's start off with you, Moore. Moore is the CEO and founder of Relli. Moore has a deep expertise in finance, HR, and leadership. Off the clock, he dedicates his time to coaching, philanthropy, and empowering others through personal and community development. Ross Ianrelli is the founder and COO at Relli, where he drives product and marketing strategy with a data-first approach. Ross is a multi-founder with expertise in product management and analytics. Ross transforms insights into growth, innovation, and value for investors and his customers. So again, gentlemen, it's quite the honor to have you two here. And I do want to, for those in the audience, to better understand how we actually became connected was through Cal State Fullerton's mentorship program. I had the privilege of supporting these two fine professionals while mentoring the marketing students at Cal State Fullerton. Cal State Fullerton offers a unique program for their graduating students to support real businesses as part of their final projects. And Relli happens to be the company which my mentees were working with. And I was thrilled for this mentorship opportunity because Relli is pioneering what I believe the future landscape for real estate investment. So again, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Let's dive on into all things Relli. What is Relli? What was the inspiration of Relli? Moore, why don't you kick things off? And then Ross, you drive things home.
I'd be more than happy to. So first of all, thanks for having us on, Ray. We're super excited to be here. Love your platform and everything that you're driving for the cryptocurrency space, the DeFi space, the Web3 space. So we're just excited to be able to contribute. And Relli, you're welcome. And Relli is the stock market of real estate. We are essentially building a platform that operates similarly to how Fidelity or E-Trade will work, where you can manage a portfolio of passive real estate investments from the fingertips that you have on your couch. And the idea here was really, it came from a desire internally for us to be able to invest in these types of assets. Selfishly, I watched my parents build a small portfolio of real estate. And over the time that me and Ross were building previous startups, I watched real estate flourish and some of our startups fail. And I looked at Ross one day and I said, Ross, we need to diversify into real estate. We have stock, we have crypto, we're investing in all sorts of stuff. It's hard to get in the real estate space, but what would it look like if me and you could invest $5,000 passively in real estate development opportunities? And we knew that wealthy investors would get $50,000 or $100,000 together at a time and go build massive projects across the country. But we just didn't have access to them. We didn't know where the deals were. We didn't know who the people were. We didn't qualify. We didn't have enough money. And Ross and I decided to start looking and seeing what average Joes like myself that want to invest $5,000 or $1,000 at a time had access to. And the options were really limited. There were only a couple platforms out there. Each one of them was completely segregated from one another. And you had to have this siloed experience where it was really difficult to manage a portfolio and there weren't many options. So Ross and I decided to build a stock market for real estate where anybody can go and see real estate deals across the country and passively invest in any asset class with proven sponsors that have been around the block and have been delivering excellent returns to their investors for many years.
Ross, do you mind following it up, sir?
Yeah, of course. I think really to piggyback on what Moore said, it's a little bit about that access, right? We'd invested in different places, but real estate, especially when I think of myself, where would I go in real estate? And the closest I've really gotten would be maybe to buy a house. Let's flip this for a vacation Airbnb, right? But then I have to do tenant management. There's a lot of things there that I don't have a background in. So it's trying to find certain investors or certain opportunities that I can diversify in, right? I don't need, excuse me, another stock or looking at cryptocurrencies. I want to add some real estate, something that I know can be with me for the next 5 or 10 years. So it was trying to get access to these larger deals, right? Whether it be a hotel, oil and gas, a lot of different opportunities versus kind of going to get an Airbnb or putting your money into a Vanguard fund, right? So it's trying to find a place where you can take some ownership, like the same way that we pick our stocks and we all try to pick our winners essentially, and just figure out what you like. Do you like investing in residential? Do you like investing in commercial? Are you open? Is it something in your area? And we just thought how cool it would be to have, let's say, a hotel being built in your community that you can invest in, right? You can really be a part of rebuilding your community. And also you can make some investments and make some gains along the way. So for us, it really seems like a great bridge, and we're excited to be able to bring that to the people.
What a wonderful opportunity. And it sounds like a really good opportunity. So thank you
There
guys
you
for, hey, this is a shotgun friendly environment. So fire away at will. Thank you for the detailed explanations and coming from the private equity domain, from the fintech landscape, because understanding that this is just a revolutionary time for exponential growth around these new secondary markets. For you, this happens to be real estate focused. But what I hear is that access that Relli is providing for a demographic of investors that have been underserved. And so it's really great to see that you guys are that bridge indeed. So let's move on and talk about Relli's core mission in this evolving real estate investment sector. We tap danced around this forward-thinking crypto sector. Are you guys being mindful of those trends at all? And if so, what's your approach?
It is something that is top of mind for us consistently. And to give you some insight, when we first decided to go down this route of creating a platform for these types of securities and exemptions, we had to make a decision. 3 years ago, we started. And when we decided to go down the route of TradFi first, it was during a time of massive uncertainty. And currently in the ecosystem that we're in, there's more and more traction around decentralized systems. However, the real estate industry is an antiquated industry that's been around for many years, and the decision makers in the industry are from an older generation. Essentially, you have a group of financial professionals and capital markets professionals that do things in a very traditional way. And the thought of changing something that isn't broken is terrifying to them. So we knew that when we went down this journey, we would have to incorporate decentralized finance into what we're building because it's the future. We also knew that we'd have to balance the response of our customers, which are those real estate development funds that are raising capital, and balance their ability to take on and ingest these new challenges in structures. For example, we've recently had a conversation with a group based out of Florida that's an active and trustworthy real estate sponsor in the multifamily space. And they've decided that in order to continue to grow and scale their business, they would like to create a tokenized asset that they can raise capital through. However, the lack of sophistication around the financial systems makes it really difficult for the operators in their business to properly present themselves to the community. So what ends up happening is you have people that spend a lot of money on solutions that they don't know how to execute on, with resources or vendors that can't really provide them the right services. And we've seen time and time again that those who go down that route, unless they're really sophisticated in their methodology around finance, struggle. So in my personal opinion, the best thing that we could do for our sponsors is give them an on-ramp to decentralized and fractionalized offerings. And that on-ramp is through the current regulations that exist in the marketplace, through Reg A, through Reg CF. And by getting them through those original kind of initial hurdles in the TradFi market space, we're going to prepare them properly to be able to leverage those tokenized opportunities and start getting into the decentralized finance world with these real world assets. And you probably have seen how difficult it has been for the real world assets to really come to fruition. And what happens is you have this very nuanced way of doing business with a very old way of doing business. And sometimes those things don't connect. So I think what we can do really well here is give our sponsors that on-ramp and provide them an easier trajectory to getting into Web3, into DeFi, into cryptocurrencies.
So I understand that you are supporting those on the sponsorship side, or those that are potentially trying to distribute their already issued assets, correct? But then at the same time, because you've created a market on the Relli platform, you are also supporting on the buy side, curating call it a pool of accredited investors that are ready to deploy capital into these wonderful opportunities. My question is, if for those that are tuning in today, do you mind explaining who your ideal customer is, both sides of the house of Relli?
Yeah, I'll speak on I would say on the investor side, right? More definitely focuses on the sponsors. So that's how we split our business internally. But I think when we're looking at who our ideal customer is, right? We mentioned DIY investors once before, but people who are looking to make their own investments, right? They're in a certain tier, right? They have money on the side that they can look to invest, but they may not be sure where. So we're looking for people who are excited to invest, are excited about the opportunity to invest in real estate, and more so get into real estate in a way that, yes, could be a little bit more risky when you're looking at investing in one property versus an index fund with 500 different properties in it or even more. But it allows you to invest specifically. It allows you to start building your portfolio, understanding how to structure it so that they can start building wealth over time. And that can help in their deploying capital in other places. So when we look at Web3 and we look at DeFi, I think the biggest piece where it fits into our puzzle is really going to be on the payment side. I think, as more mentioned, for the sponsors, they love the traditional side, right? They've been doing that for decades in a row. Why change it? But for the consumers, for us, we've been continuously changing our habits, and we're more open to investing not only in different things, but in different ways. And I think asking someone to invest in a traditional asset, but in a slightly non-traditional way, won't be that hard of a leap in a few years. I think we all have friends that have either been on cryptocurrency for the last year or the last 5 or last 10, right? But everyone is slowly catching up to that spot. And I think just having an ability where however you want to invest, you have that ability. Because for us, these deals were just never available. They were existing with or without us. These people were fundraising whether we got it on the platform or not. but they're excited to be able to expand their network and find new investors. And then on our side, we're excited to expand our network and work with these sponsors across the country.
From a sponsor side, I would say our ideal customer is a proven sponsor with a track record of success in a specific asset class in a specific geographic location. So we're very focused on finding people that are active, have had recent exits, have at least 10 to 15 years worth of experience, and at least 10 to 20 million in assets under management or transaction volume, such that we know that these sponsors have been through the ringer before. This isn't their first time around. We're not putting our investors' money at risk with people that are new to a certain asset class or geography, which allows for basically the highest quality private investment opportunity in the marketplace available on our platform. And just to speak a little bit more on the investor side, from a passive investor side, there's so many people that qualify to invest in these offerings that don't know that they qualify. So many of them. And I think what Ross does really well is he makes it easy for people to participate on our product and see different opportunities and learn more about what's available to them in a low pressure environment, which then translates to trustworthy relationships and opportunities for people to grow their wealth.
Very kind kudos for Ross. Ross, do you mind piggybacking off of those kind remarks? What's your approach to facilitating a seamless transaction or experience on the Relli platform?
Yeah, I think there's a few things that go into it. I think one of the biggest things that we continue to work on is to try to find the right amount of information that someone needs to see to understand a deal, right? Because you're going to have people that come to the platform that have invested in real estate before. You're going to have people that have come on the platform that have never invested a day in their life in real estate, right? So it's first is trying to give them things that they understand or can know. So categories like industrial or residential or commercial, some simple starting points, but trying to put it in a way where they can take their time, they can get into a little bit more info. And then once they're there, being able to set up a meeting directly with one of these sponsors to really get a lot of your questions answered, right? Because a lot of these deals right now, their minimums aren't as low as they'll eventually be. But I think what's important is for the people that are looking to deploy that capital, like for the one you have up here, a self storage deal, right? I think everyone, even without knowing the dynamics of self storage, you would think that's probably a pretty safe investment as long as it's rented out properly. Let's see where it's located. Is it by a highway? And then you can talk to the sponsor, get an idea. And if that works, invest your 50,000, 100,000, whatever the amount may be. And as we continue to get that across, we'll be able to continue bringing that minimum down as these investors or sponsors that Moore's working with start to understand a little bit more the benefits of not only lowering that in a traditional way, but starting to go on to DeFi and other ways that we can really take more investments in a way that for them is seamless, because their biggest issue is they don't want to have thousands of investors that they have to deal with. It's not something they've ever done, but having a way where the payments can move seamlessly, it can all be set up properly, really will ease that part of them that is not financial savvy or tech savvy, right? But it allows everyone to get involved in the transaction. So when we look at it from a website standpoint, it's really just giving people a place to look around, right? Look for investments. If you're not there for investments, you can go directly to the sponsors, maybe that are in your area or have largest when it comes to their company size, or even find real estate experts in their area. So we're trying to build that community and give them kind of everything that they would want because real estate is so diverse.
That's a perfect segue because you guys do have your Relli expert network. Do you mind discussing this resource and how this differentiates you from your competitors?
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to jump in on this one just from the perspective of what we've learned over the course of the last 3 years. And it really drives a stake in the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And even those who are operating at the highest capacities need highly qualified experts that can help them get from point A to point Z. So what we discovered in our initial outreach to the real estate development firms and the fund managers was that number one, they didn't have the resources to be able to take a deal like this to market and properly market themselves or the offering to accredited investors or non-accredited investors. So along the journey of getting to know these real estate sponsors, they had questions for us. How does the legal work? How does the accounting work? How does the audit work? How does acquisition work? How does all this stuff fit together? And with that opportunity, we decided to go and figure it all out and put all the pieces in one place and start talking to the broker dealers and the lawyers and the accountants and the CPAs and the auditors to get an understanding of what it is that they do, how much does it cost, and what part of the process are they going to need to participate with them. And through that exploration, we said, okay, clearly these real estate sponsors are going to need access to these people, so let's give them a place to hang out. And Ross built out the platform with our tech team to be able to implement some of those people into that platform. And then what we also discovered was that it wasn't just one side of the table that needed support. The passive investors needed help too. The passive investors, if they wanted to invest in a singular piece of property, needed a broker, they needed an agent, they needed a mortgage person. Or even if they wanted to passively invest, they probably needed a financial professional that could help them deploy their capital properly. They probably needed a tax professional that could help them make sure that they're paying the right amount of taxes and not overpaying. So it was just a clear fit. And so many people have loved the fact that we posted their information on our platform, and we just continue to add more people to that network.
Yeah, good for you guys. I've been following all your channels across the go-to social media platforms from Instagram, X, and you guys are constantly pumping out announcements of your recent partnerships and milestones. I'd love to touch on those before we conclude our conversation here. Let's talk about a few things before we get there. And I really want to drive home on your area of expertise. What is it about you two gentlemen that makes you the right people for the job running the helm for Relli? If we could, let's start off with you more.
Sure. I think first of all, building a startup is all about persistence and passion, number one. And I actually just had a conversation with a potential investor for Relli, a venture capital investor. And they said something that has continued to ring true, which is at this stage, you bet on the horse. And what it looks like is that we're the horses that are willing to be persistent and keep running.
You're
and
some
keep
handsome
trying.
horse. Handsome
Thank
horses,
you.
by the way.
I'll take it. I'll take it all day. But all that being said, I think the first thing that, and it's something that both Ross and I possess, is an absolute passion for building and solving problems. And another thing that we share that makes us special is we're not easily deterred. We can be beat up over and over again. And I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this platform, but we have a saying that we consistently use with people that we ask for feedback, which is, please, and I'm going to change the word here for the sake of not cussing, please poop on us and tell us how terrible we are so that we can improve ourselves. So that's number one. Now, personally, what makes me qualified to be able to build this is, number one, a desire to be a customer. I want to be an investor on this platform, so I'm building the platform that the investors want to be on, hand in hand with Ross. And the second thing is my experience actively working with small to medium businesses and in the finance space. I've moved a lot of money in my life. I used to work in the acquiring banking space, still do work with customers in the banking space. And moving money is very difficult and very complex. And it's a big portion of what it is that we do on this platform. So number one, I bring value from that perspective of ensuring that our transactions on the platform are happening compliantly, my finance professional background. And the second thing is leadership and management. I worked for one of the biggest HR consultancies in the world that actively helped some of the best companies across the country get the best out of their employees by improving retention, by improving employee experience, by improving training, which positions me really well to support our teams. And in my opinion, I work for the team. Like I am 100% an employee of the business and an employee of our team.
Batman and Robin, Hammond.
And I wouldn't even call it Batman and Robin, man. I would say it's like Superman and Batman, right? Like we both have our strengths and we're both equally powerful and we're both here to deliver value to our customers. So with that, I'll pass that over to Ross, speak on his background.
Thank you, Moore. Great job, sir.
I think you touched on it more. Is we always joke that founders always have a slight screw loose, but that's also like their superpower, right? Like we will fight through all of it for the sake of our customers, right? We're always looking at how can we make their experience better, right? And we obsess over that in every different way of how can we improve that experience? How can that be shown in our processes? How can that be shown in our platform, in our messaging, everything, right? So we take for me, previously, I was at Snapchat as an account executive, working with mostly retail brands. So very B2B sale, but really looking at that consumer lens and what would resonate well with them, whether it be certain campaigns or certain times a year. So it's taking some of that knowledge, understanding. I think the biggest thing I learned there was the data side is understanding how to quantify your assumptions. My favorite book is always The Lean Startup, which is the goal message of that is build, measure, learn. And I think understanding that and really Moore and I use that in everything that we do, it allows us that even if we didn't get it the first time, we get better the second, the third, the fourth. And these kind of show up really in our products and in our companies where we're able to withstand a lot of the, I think, initial hurdles that some people run into because you're really at a point where you'll almost quit right before that big jump. And you just have to go that extra step. Or I grew up playing football and I was always finished through the line. That little extra 1%, I think really makes a big difference in just the way that you approach life and approach your customers and your company. So I think in the way that Moore and I work, yeah, we are able to have our different hats, juggle those hats, keep everything in line. And we've done this for so many years that we can go a few days without saying anything. And then we pop up and all these things are done because we know the other one's just working on 8 p.m., 9 p.m., midnight. Moore messages me at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, like still up moving. So it's just nonstop.
You up? Are you thinking about tokenized real estate right now?
I don't even have to ask the question. I just go straight into what it is that we're talking about. Usually we're like super aligned. Oh, okay, yeah, that's where we're at. Let's go this way. All right, great.
That's funny. That's why I think we get along, Ross. We were both football players, except I played only freshman year on the B team, and I caught one interception, and so that was my claim to fame. All that
matters. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't catch any passes, and I played plenty of football, so that's better than zero. I'll tell you that much. You can't see it in this little box, but I'm 6'6" and built like a no lineman.
You are very tall, Moore, and so I appreciate you joining us today. Us small folk on the channel today, so appreciate it. But hey, shifting gears here, what's the long-term vision for? I know we touched on tokenized real estate, but what's your long-term vision for fractionalized real estate investment? What do you think the impact for tokenized real estate, and how are you guys fit to potentially capitalize?
I can hop in on this one because I feel very passionately about this. Commercial real estate has been the same industry for very many years, and there haven't been many levers that you can pull in the real estate industry that allow you to maximize your efficiency as a business. And I think that fractionalization of assets, of real world assets, is the future of commercial real estate globally. For the sheer sake of creating those efficiencies that have been absolutely direly needed in the industry for at least 2 decades. And I think the biggest reason why fractionalized real estate is going to be the unlock for commercial real estate when it comes to injecting themselves into the technological era is because it shifts the financial stack, which is the most important part of any real estate transaction. And it's also the first part of any real estate transaction. So if we revolutionize the way that the capital stack works in commercial real estate by offering fractional investments to the world, not only will there be more money, there will be more liquidity, there will be more efficiency because everything will be automated, and it will allow for decentralized finance, accountability that goes beyond a ledger presented by a fund manager that you don't know if it's real or not, with the advent of blockchain and smart contracts. I think the future for fractionalized real estate is very bright. In my personal opinion, I think that tokenization will hit critical mass slightly after the traditional financial solutions are being utilized in the business consistently. And what I mean by that is currently the real estate developers are only focused on accredited investors. The second that they leverage the available options for non-accredited investors, layering the tokenization piece on top of the securities that are available to the average consumers will be gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. And having dove into your platform ahead of this call, I noticed that you already have some type of back-end office created to support for those investors' needs. Do you mind talking about what we have up on screen here? I apologize, there haven't been any transactions. That minimum investment threshold is, I'm working my way up there, guys.
Yeah, I think when we look at the back end, we're really trying to find out exactly what's going to be the most important for our customers. And that's an area that we're definitely starting to expand on and build on now that we've got the platform to a place where people can start to explore and understand what they're looking at. So the idea is going to be to build that out a little bit more in the near future so that as you start to make your investments, whether you're with a few different sponsors or have it all with one, we'd love for you to be able to track that in one place, be able to understand your portfolio from even just a simple aspect, like I said before, of industrial, residential, or commercial. Just maybe figuring out what a good portfolio of that looks like, being able to check on a monthly or quarterly basis and understand how that's going, the same way that you open your phone, check how your crypto is doing, check how your stocks are doing. We'd rather have all of that in one place for you so that you're able to really keep an eye on what's going on in your portfolio.
Awesome. Wonderful. Appreciate the detailed explanation. Ross, before I let you guys go, because I know that we're approaching the 30-minute mark here of this interview. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your, not only your time, but your expertise and your passions for Relli and the future of this investment landscape around real estate. I see, again, talking about the dynamic aspect of a startup and how with the lean startup mentalities, you guys are constantly moving and shaking. Are there any special announcements that you'd like to make before I let you guys go? Again, let me bring up on the screen just to say you guys are always pumping out announcements about welcome so-and-so to the network and onto the platform. So do you mind, is there any special announcements or news that my audience here would really appreciate hearing?
Ross, do you have any product focused ones? I have a couple overall focused, but I think product, you've been working on some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think on product, we just launched a new refresh. So I think you're able to go on there now, see investment sponsors and experts all in a way that you can easily contact or get your education on with them. I think on a business standpoint, since this refresh, we've restarted the clock on a lot of our things since we were very much retail focused and we've had to make those pivots based off of our customer needs. We're very close. I think at this point of recording, 10 or 15 away from hitting 1,000 brand new accounts. So very close to getting that. So that's going to be right around the corner. We'll take that. But yeah, just that shift definitely changed a few things around, but really exciting to see that we're starting to gain some steam on the investor side. I know Moore's got some stuff he'll share as well, but it's just been great to see the community continue to grow.
More, the mic is yours, sir. Or the stage.
We got some cool stuff, man. I'm really excited. We have recently brought on a very powerful angel investor by the name of Timothy Lee, who is one of the original co-founders of Realty Mogul, which is one of our biggest competitors. And he is currently actively supporting us in not only raising capital, but positioning our product properly, our marketing campaigns, how we can better build this business in the footsteps of what they did at Realty Mogul, but to take it to the next level and really become that stock exchange environment that we'd like to bring on. And with that new investor in Tim, we've actually signed on 2 new investors after him within the last 2 or 3 weeks, one of which with over $175 million in assets that has recently listed his fund on the platform that is focused on retail offerings like Starbucks's and Walmart's and all sorts of cool stuff like that. The product is expanding when it comes to different investment opportunities across the country in different asset classes that people can diversify into, with amazing sponsors that have great track record that are actually investing in our business as well as investing in advertising their deals on our product. So that's really exciting. And more than that, I think what's really happening is that we're starting to gain some speed and some steam in the community. People are starting to recognize our name, which is very exciting. And slowly but surely, we're getting more of those accounts, like Ross mentioned. Outside of that, we're growing at an extremely consistent pace, and we're excited for the future. I think it's very bright.
Congratulations on that significant milestone of 1,000 users. That's, I'd say, monumental. I'm just excited to get 1 YouTube subscriber. So kudos to you guys. Before I let you guys go, what's the best way for those in the audience to learn more about Relli and follow you two as leaders in the space?
I'd say, first of all, check out our website, relli.co, RELLI.co, and check out all of our socials at Invest with Relli. Personally, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my most active platform, at more Milo, as it's listed right here on the screen, or on this side, whichever side it's on. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me personally at more@relli.co if you guys have any questions. And Ross, maybe you want to throw out your stuff?
Same. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I think mine's just at Ross Ianrelli. You'd have to confirm it, but it's up on the screen now. But yeah, that's where you can find us personally. And then for our website, relli.co, like you mentioned, take a browse, see what investments fit your appetite. And we're excited to continue to build with you as you join the community.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, it was quite the pleasure and privilege interviewing you today, meeting you through the Cal State Fullerton mentorship program. I'm excited to see the future of what Relli looks like in the short order, because I know that in this space, things happen fast, and and the relationships that you have, I think, are only going to make you excel even faster. So kudos to you, gentlemen. If there's nothing else to be said, I'm going to close up shop here and let you guys run off to run in the world of real estate investments. Thanks to Relli. And again, looking forward to having you back on the channel sooner rather than later, so we can get some updates for those in the audience who want to keep a thumb on the pulse for Relli. So again, thank you, gentlemen. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you for having us, Ray.
Thank you.